Look, redundancy is everything. If you're beginning to assemble large corpora of digital materials, think about, for example, using different disk manufacturers for different copies. Internet Archive made a big investment in disks from a certain manufacturer at one point after the flood in Thailand, when we couldn't really choose where we got disks from, and I bought a lot of drives from that same manufacturer, and they turn out not to be very reliable. And so now I use those drives, but I make 3 copies of everything. And spread your disks are so cheap right now compared to the sweat that's involved. One thing that's actually kind of interesting, and this is a bit contrarian, but when we scan film, it's actually cheaper to rescan than it is to keep a lot of backups. So for the raw scan, if I lose a drive, which happens every so often, you drop it and you just can't get into it again because something that you can't fix has been scrambled, worse than bad boot blocks. It's actually cheaper to go in and rescan than it would be to keep multiple backups of all of those raw drives. And it's really a case of running scenarios in your mind and figuring out what's the balance between labor and capital expenditures. But and the other thing I have to say is think hard about what you're keeping, because over time it's going to cost a lot to save a terabyte. The founder of Internet Archive, Brewster Kahle, has been quoted as saying that to endow a terabyte for forever, which is sort of arbitrarily thought of as 99 years, it's between $3,000 and $4,000. That figure is going to change, as we know more. But if you have a petabyte of research data, and if you're doing high-end simulation, you can collect a petabyte in a week. That's millions of dollars to keep that for a long time because of the migration and the refresh and the constant, checking your hash totals to make sure that what you've got is really there. So it means that you may not want to keep everything just because you think you can, but you should think very carefully about what to keep.